I've gone back in time to FIFA 17 for a retro rebuild. Today, we're going to be taking over Roma in FIFA 17 and rebuilding them to Champions League glory. This is one of my favorite FIFAs. It's been so long since I've played it. Here is our starting squad. We do have Salah, Nainggolan, Manolas, Alisson, even players like Rudiger when he was only 77 rated. This squad, it has just such a great blend of players that would go on to be great, legendary players, but like nobody's in their prime. It's such a good team to do on FIFA 17. So this is our starting squad. Some spots I want to upgrade. I'm thinking about this left-hand side at left back because Vermaelen is on loan and his backups are Mario Rui and Jesus. Not that great. I think we could definitely do better there. Same with the center back role. I think I wouldn't mind bringing in another center back. And maybe if we have enough budget, a younger striker and someone that could replace De Rossi down the line. We're starting off with a budget of 44.7 million, a lot more than I thought we were actually going to get, so we should be able to make a couple transfers with that. And we have our first departure of the season, Diego Perotti. I actually got a really good transfer offer for him and I couldn't turn it down. He's headed to Sevilla for 23.5 million, a decent amount of money for him. We're going to have to look for a new striker. And we have our very first transfer into the club, Mbemba. We're going to be signing him from Newcastle for 13.5 million. Not too bad. Someone that might be able to grow along with our other center backs in the club. Not a bad signing. Welcome to Roma. And our next signing into the club, a new left back. We're signing Wendell. Back when he still had potential, we signed him for 13.5 million. Not too bad as our new left back. Third signing into the club, we finally have another striker. Again for 13.5 million. Divock Origi. Really wanted to bring him in. He looks like a great player. He had actually 85 potential this FIFA, so he's going to be great. Hopefully he grows, maybe takes over the striker role next year, but he's going to be our backup striker behind Dzeko for this year. And after those three signings, we still have 34 million to work with, so I should be able to make another signing or two, but I'm not really sure who to go in for. Someone I really wanted to bring in was Renato Sanchez, but he just joined Bayern Munich from Benfica this year, so we're not going to be able to sign him this year. Hopefully we can get him in the next season, but right now we're going to have to look elsewhere. So we're using some of that money to bring in a new CDM, keeping the theme of future Liverpool players, I guess. Fabinho, 79 rated, only 22 years old. We managed to pick him up for 15.5 million, so we still have plenty of budget to work with. I'm very confused. Why do I have more money now? As you can see, after I sold Fabinho, my budget went up again, and I'm trying to figure out why that happened. It might be because of these season tickets, but it just doesn't make sense because down here, I bought all three players for 13.5 million, weirdly enough. I showed it. We were at 30 million. I don't know how we've gone back up to 40 million. I'm not really sure, but now we have 40 million still. I don't know. So we've reached deadline day and I'm quite happy with my team. I think I'm just going to hold on to this 40 million, save it for January next year, something like that. I'm happy with the transfers we made. I think this squad could do good. We are in the Champions League this season. Not expecting much, not at all. But who knows? We need to see how we do in January. So by the end of January, we were doing quite well, getting wins against the likes of Sampdoria, Bologna, Atalanta, and Fiorentina. But unfortunately, slipping points to the likes of Inter, Napoli, AC Milan, and Juventus. We had found ourselves in second place behind Juventus, but 2 games ahead, meaning we could slip even further. But the squad was doing well. We had the top 2 leading goal scorers in the Calcio A, meaning we definitely had potential to do well for the rest of the season. I've made it to the end of the January transfer window. I didn't make any moves, didn't feel like we needed to make any. We still have 40 million to work with. Let's continue on and finish out the rest of the season. The second half of the season wasn't that bad, getting off key wins against Torino, Atalanta, as well as a huge win against AC Milan. But unfortunately, we had major losses against Inter, Napoli, as well as Juventus, but we also made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I wasn't going to show much of the Champions League this season, but we've made it to the quarterfinals against Bayern Munich. We beat Besiktas in the round of 16, but in the first leg, it's a 2-1 loss to Bayern Munich. And in the second leg, it is a 1-0 loss. So, unsurprisingly, we're out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals. So at the end of the season, we ended up finishing in 4th place, which at this time in FIFA 17 is not going to qualify us for the UCL next season. Only a single point behind Napoli in 3rd place, and Juventus dominated the league, scoring over 100 points in the season. That's very unfortunate. We were just off Champions League football. We did end up having the We did have the 2 highest goal scorers in the Calcio A. Both El Shaarawy and Mohamed Salah scored 23 goals, so that's very promising. Our squad is young, we're growing. Next season, Champions League football needs to be the priority. Let's go to next season. Season 2 here at Roma, this is what the team looks like. We're growing quite nicely. Origi and Fabinho have taken over in the starting 11. The squad looks nice. We still need some work to go because we're not in the Champions League. We need to upgrade this team so we can qualify for the Champions League this season. We're starting off with a budget of almost 60 million, so that should be plenty to work with. And we have our first departure of the season, William Van Kier. I don't know how to pronounce your name. He's headed to Bologna for 6.5 million. And we have our first player bought into the club, Renato Sanchez. Couldn't sign him last year. We got him this year. We got him for 28 million. Not too bad. He should be a great asset for the future. And we have our second departure of the season. We have way too many strikers on the roster. Doumbia came back on loan this season, and we've shipped him out immediately. He's being sold to Liverpool for 10.5 million. And we have another transfer. I realize that we are very weak on fullbacks. Most of them that we had last season were all loaned into the club, so I'm going to work on bolstering that position. We have a backup right back here. Nelson Semedo is going to be joining us for 16.5 million from Benfica. Can't speak. He's coming in. Next up, we have another departure out of the club. Castan is headed to Atletico Madrid for 10.5 million. We just have too many center backs. We needed to cash in on them. More fullback depth. We're going to be adding Arthur Masuaku into the club. He had a crazy summer card in FIFA 20 or something. I remember that so vividly. He's going to be joining us for 13 million from West Ham. So after all that business, we still have 56 million to work with, and I'm struggling. This is the starting 11. If we really want to go over the top this season, there's one spot I'm thinking to replace, and that's at center back. Even though Mbemba is growing like crazy, we just need another huge center back next to Manolas, because Manolas, he's great. He's an 86 overall. If we get 2 85, 86 overalls at center back, I think we're going to be amazing in a great spot for this season. I think it would really help us out. And I have managed to bring in a new center back, someone that become a future Roma player. That's exactly why I wanted to sign him. Chris Smalling is an 85 overall. We managed to spend 38 million on him to bring in the Englishman. He's 85 overall. He's going to be a great addition into the team. Welcome to Roma. So at the end of the deadline day, this is what our squad looks like. It's nice. It's very balanced, honestly. I think we have a real shot of Champions League football this season. Decent amount of depth. A lot of our players on this roster are just super low overall players that I don't know why they're here. But this team looks very solid. I definitely think we can reach Champions League football this season. Maybe even have a title race. Who knows? I'm not really sure who to upgrade in the future, but I do have high expectations for this season, but there's only one way to find out. Let's get into this season. We had a very decent first half of the season, despite dropping points to the likes of Juventus and Inter Milan. Clutch wins, including AC Milan and Napoli, found ourselves in a great spot come January. And at the start of January, we are sitting in a very nice second place, tied on points with Juventus, only behind on goal difference. We are doing amazing through the first half of the season. And we do have a player departure in January, probably our only one. Edin Dzeko was fed up with his lack of games, so he requested a transfer. So we have sold him to Everton for 10 million. Not that bad. Not the worst thing in the world. And at the end of the transfer window, Dzeko was our only player sold, our only piece of business. Let's get into the rest of the season. We were cooking in the second half of the season. We got wins over Napoli, Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Fiorentina, which led us into the final game of the season, only up a single point ahead of Juventus. And guess who we're playing in that final match? That's right, our final match is against Juventus. Basically, winner takes all. Whoever wins this match wins the Serie. This is going to be a close game. And just like that, with a 2-0 victory over Juventus, we have secured the Calcio title. And there's the confirmation, officially first place in the Serie, 90 points in total, a great season from everyone, but that's not everything. We have also reached the Coppa Nazionale against Napoli for another chance at a trophy. And in the final, it is a 3-1 victory, giving us another trophy in the trophy cabinet. What an amazing season. And I was about to say, let's get into the next season, but Mohamed Salah has sent me a very not great message saying that he wants to leave the club and wants to go on the transfer list. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's not very good. But with that being said, here is our team at the end of the season. Let's get into Season 3. Alright, Season 3 here at Roma. This is what the team looks like. It's quite nice, I'm going to be honest. It's nice. Couple things I want to change. I think Origi is the only real striker on this team because we had to get rid of Dzeko, and I believe Totti retired because I don't see him. Yeah, I believe he retired, so it's just Origi and Ponce, and I would not be mad to bring in a huge striker, as well as Strootman is the only other center mid on the team. I wouldn't mind bringing another one of those. We're kind of just focusing on depth this year because the team looks great. I think it's going to keep growing. Maybe Nainggolan's not going to grow. He's like 30. Yeah, he's 30. He could get replaced maybe next year. But that Salah contract that I mentioned, he has 2 years left, so he should be fine this year. We're going to have to deal with him next year if that comes about. But I think I'm looking for striker and maybe a center mid this season. And after renewing some contracts, we have a budget of 68 million to work with, so we definitely have a lot of money to bring in some players. And we have our first signing of the window. It's a huge signing, Alexandre Lacazette. He's coming to Roma from Lyon. We got him for 58 million, not a bad price, 87 overall, looks pretty solid. We needed another striker, and he is going to be taking over as the main man up top. And we have a departure. Irvin Zukanovic is headed to Verona for 2.2 million. And we have another departure. Iago Falque is headed to Valencia for 12.5 million, not too bad. So after those departures and the preseason tournament, we are now at 45 million to work with, and I think I want to bring in another center mid. So we have used that money to bring in one of Arsenal's best players in real life right now, Mikel Moreno, who's actually at Dortmund in FIFA 17. He's going to be joining us for 32.5 million. Not a bad price. Welcome to Roma. So that is the end of the transfer deadline day. Let's have a look at our squad. It looks incredible. Lacazette has already gone up a rating. He's up to an 88. The attack looks brilliant. Midfield looks great. Besides, Nainggolan he's getting old. He's 30, so we might have to move on if we don't win the Champions League this year. But the team overall looks great. We got good depth. I think this has got to be our season. We're looking for Calcio title. We're looking for Champions League title. We're looking for everything. Let's see how we do this season. In our UCL group stage, we got a draw against Zenit, a draw against Göteborg, a win against Arsenal, a win against Gutsberg, a loss against Zenit, and a clutch win against Arsenal, which qualified us for the round of 16 in a very tight battle. We finished in second place behind Zenit, just ahead of Arsenal. A very tight battle, but we made it through. Alright, we have made it to January 1st, and in the league table, we are sitting in second place, only 4 points behind Inter. We have made a couple slip-ups this season with 3 losses already. It's a very tight battle at the front. Clubs like Sassuolo and Fiorentina are here. It's a very weird table. Juventus is down in 9th. The door is definitely wide open. I think we could definitely make a move for the top of the table. I only have 12.5 million, so I'm not sure if I'm going to bring in anyone. It would have to be someone cheap, so we'll see. And that's the end of the January transfer window. I ended up not making any moves. We did not have enough budget. 12.5 million couldn't really get me much of use for the squad right now. So we're just going to have to continue on. We've ended up in first place in the January window, up 4. That's very solid. Let's just continue on this season. We finally have our round of 16 opponent, and it's a doozy. We are playing Liverpool in the round of 16. This is going to be a very tough game. In the first leg, it is a 1-0 win. You love to see that, but Salah is injured. We're going to have to check that. He's only out for 3 days. Everything's all good. Second leg time against Liverpool. We are up 1-0, but I'm a little nervous about this one. I'm not going to lie. Here we are, second leg. It is a 1-1 draw, which means we go through versus Liverpool. 2-1 on aggregate. That's beautiful. You love to see it. All right, we have the quarterfinals now. We're playing Schalke. Not as hard as an opponent, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Every opponent we do have to, be cautious of. In the first leg, it is a 1-0 victory. Not as high as I would have liked, but it is a victory nonetheless. Not too bad. Second leg versus Schalke. We need at least a draw to go through. Second leg, it is a 3-0 victory. Very convincing. We are through to the Champions League semifinals. Semifinals time. We're up against a very tough opponent. Bayern Munich is our semifinals opponent. It could be rough. It definitely could be rough. In the first leg, it is a 1-0 loss to a very solid Bayern Munich squad. But I'm sneakily confident we definitely have a chance. Second leg against Bayern Munich. We are this close away from the Champions League final. We need a huge result here. And in the second leg, it is a 1-1 draw, meaning that we are knocked out of the Champions League. And in our final match of the season, we ended up beating Bologna, which means we did end up winning the Calcio away, back-to-back winners, 4 points ahead of Inter Milan. That's very nice to see. We did, disappointing UCL, but we should come back better than ever next year. And in the Coppa Nacional, we actually ended up winning that too. So 2 trophies this season. We ended up going to penalties against Juventus, winning that. Another trophy. That's not too bad. Overall, a pretty successful season, but we're still just this close away from the Champions League title. Let's get into the next season. Season 4. Here we are. Let's take a look at the team. Pretty solid. Moreno is the same rating as Nainggolan, so he's going to take over for the center mid spot. Upgrades to this team. Wendell is not growing the way I wanted to. He's only at an 83. He is the worst rated player in the team, so I think we need to upgrade there. It's really hard to say. We're gonna have to take a look at Salah's contract because I believe he only has a year left, and if you remember, he sent a message last year that he wanted to leave, so we're gonna have to take a look at that. Alright, so it looks like he doesn't have anything blocking him. Let's send him an offer. We'll see if he accepts it. So Mohamed Salah did end up accepting his contract, as well as a couple others that were in the starting 11, Fabinho, Chris Smalling, but that's great. We're going to be able to keep Mohamed Salah for the rest of the rebuild. And after those contract renewals, we are still at 74 million. That's plenty of money to bring in some new talent. We have our first departure out of the club. It is Wendell. We did sell him, $25.5 million. He's headed to Real Madrid. I don't know. That's a decent transfer, $25 million into the club. Let's make some signings. And we have our first transfer. It's probably not who you expected. A future Roma player. That's why I wanted to bring him in. Some extra depth. Lorenzo Pellegrini. We're going to be picking him up from Sassuolo. He's some good depth, you know. He's cool to bring in. I wanted to bring him in. We got him for $8 million. Not too bad. And next up, we are signing a backup left winger. I realize that El Shaarawy is the only left winger on the roster, so we need to bring in a backup. We're going to be bringing in Bruma. If any of you remember him, what happened to him? He fell off. I don't know, but we're going to be bringing him in for $35 million from Galatasaray. Not too bad. And we finally have our left back replacement. I wanted to get Luke Shaw. They wanted too much money. So instead, we ended up getting Alexandro. He's 87 rated. Not bad. And he's from a Calcio rival. We got him for a very nice price of only $35 million because his contract was expiring. Pretty good. Welcome to Rome. And that is the end of the transfer deadline day. No more business. This is what our squad looks like. Both Lacazette and Origi are injured for a while, so we're just going to have to deal with that. But the team looks very nice. Renato Sanchez is up to an 88. Defense looks fantastic. We're looking great. I think, you know, I've been saying this every season, but this has to be our season. I'm not sure what else to do. We're looking to go deep in the UCL this season. All right, we've made it to early January, and in the table, we're sitting in third place, but we're only a single point away from first place Juventus. It's a very tight race at the top of the table. It's anyone's game, really. We're doing well. We have slipped up in a couple games, but I think we can do well the rest of the season. I do still have $37 million, but I truly believe in this team. And if we don't do it this year, it's just going to carry over into next year, and I'll blow it up. I'll do something next year, but I believe in this team this year. And at the end of the January transfer window, I ended up not making any moves, just like I said I would. Let's continue on. The next thing should probably be the Champions League. I somehow forgot to show it, but we were doing great in our UCL group stage. It is the Champions League. We are in the round of 16, and our opponent is Borussia Dortmund. I'm not really sure how to think about this. Let's see how we do in the first round. It is a 1-0 loss. That's not what we were looking for. Second leg here, we definitely need a win. We're down 1-0 after the first leg, and it's a 2-0 victory. We are through thanks to Marino and Bruma. We are through against Borussia Dortmund. That's great. Quarterfinals time. We're against Liverpool. Another tough matchup. In the first leg, it is a 1-0 loss. Again, not a great start. Second leg, we need a huge result. We are down once again. It is a 2-0 victory. I don't know how we've pulled that off. It went into extra time, it looks like, and we managed to pull it off. A little comeback from behind victory. Oh, that's great. We're into the semifinals. All right, we've made it to the semifinals. It's another tough opponent, of course. Can't catch a break. We're at the semifinals. What do you expect? We are playing PSG. They probably have a good team at this point, but so do we. We're confident. First leg. It's a 1-0 loss. Again, please. Second leg here against PSG. We need a huge result. Down once again. It's not looking good. And in the second leg, it's a 1. Oh my God. We're going through? Wow. A 1-0 victory. We ended up going all the way to penalties, and we won. I'm blown away. I'm kind of in shock right now, but I guess we're going to the Champions League final. Wow. So at the end of the season, we ended up finishing in first place, winning the Serie, 4 points clear over Juventus. Another trophy into the trophy cabinet. We are also in the final of the Copa Nacional, which we're about to get into a second. Before we get into the Champions League, we're playing Inter in that. Here is the final against Inter in the Copa Nacional. This would make 2 trophies on the season, and we obliterate Inter 3-0, a Lacazette brace. Our second trophy. We have a chance at a triple. This is incredible. We have a genuine chance at a treble this season. But before we get into the Champions League final, which is against Chelsea, by the way, this is what our final squad looks like. Man, it looks really good. Renato Sanchez is up to a 90. And unfortunately, it looks like Fabinho is out with a red card, so someone's going to have to come in for him. I should be putting in Paredes, but just because it's a Roma career mode, I'm going to put in 9-goal. He deserves to play. Also, Smalling should be starting. Let's do that too. But 9-goal definitely deserves to be playing the Champions League final. But this is our final starting 11, as well as the bench and the reserves. It's just an incredible team. I love what we built. It's time to get into the Champions League final.
Well, this is a great day for the Champions Cup final. It's contested here. It's got to be played to a finish. Time there, really good.
All right, kickoff here in the final. Musonda has some space. Ooh, gets by. Javi Martinez. Still has the ball somehow. Hazard. Still has it. Ooh, I don't like this.
Nope.
Good defending. Salah, back to Lacazette. Pass it in. One more. Renato Sanchez finds the back of the net. 12 minutes in. A great goal, to be honest. Renato Sanchez makes it 1-0 in the Champions League final. That's a great start. Hazard. Baba's got some space. Can't get the ball into Hazard. He passes it to Marino. How nice of him. Lacazette. Oh, can't get it to Lacazette. Good steal. Salah. Marino can't get the shot off. Unlucky.
Well, they're building steadily here, working away.
Wow, that was what a ball, and almost an equalizer from Javi Martinez. Just wide from him. Courtois there to scoop up the corner. And that is halftime. Halftime, we're up 1-0. Only the single shot on target in the entire game. We just got to hold on. Hopefully try and get another goal. But we're playing well. But so is Chelsea. Anything could happen. Let's get into the second half. Find Salah out wide.
Great passing. And the crowd really enjoying it.
El Shaarawy. He sneaks it past him. What a goal. Great finish. A little low driven from El Shaarawy. We're up 2-0. A greatly worked goal from the entire team. And with that goal, we are up 2-0 in the Champions League final. We are this close away from the trophy. Musonda. Dybala has some space. He's going nowhere. Gets a shot. Blocked by Chris Smalling. Ooh, I've given the ball away. Somehow he still has it. Wow, shot is just wide. Eden Hazard almost with a goal to Chelsea's name. I'm going to make some quick substitutions. I think Origi should get some game time. I think we need Paredes into the middle. And the last sub is going to be... Let's sub in Bruma for El Shaarawy. Renato Sanchez finds Paredes. Wouldn't mind a crack. That's what was that shot? That was a terrible shot. Cross in. Chris Smalling's there. Can't cross. Good save from Allison. Chris Smalling could not clear that ball. Wow, they have their keeper up already? It's only the 85th minute. Courtois is not in net. This should be an easy goal, right? Just shoot it. Oh my god, he's missed. Oh my god. Origi just... Okay. We're up. It's fine. It's fine. I can't believe he just did that. Azpilicueta has found some space. Hold on. He's taking him down. No foul. Back to Azpilicueta. A great save from Allison. I don't know what's happening. That does not look like Allison at all. I just have to say. Oh, but Courtois isn't up for this corner? I don't get it. I don't get it. Hazard. Right to my man. Shot is blocked. And that is the final whistle. Roma are officially champions of Europe. A Champions League win. A treble season. What a season it's been for Roma. And what a rebuild. If you are still watching at this point, make sure to like and subscribe down below. We're trying to grow this channel, and I would really appreciate it. But there you have it. They raise the Champions League trophy. Roma are officially champions of Europe. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.